Hi everyone, welcome to the Hacker Live podcast. And I'm here back with my amazing guest Ana Isabel. This is Nicolas. Uh, this is great. It's been now like few days since we make the first podcast. Thank you so much for everybody that has go through it. Um, I I don't know what to say. Like, did it start like an idea, then it start becoming a reality, and now it's just about improving and having fun every time, every iteration. So here we are, second round with Ana Isabel. Uh, we have a couple of good questions for today. Besides that, I would like to ask Anna, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing good and enjoying
Mm.
a wonderful cold morning in Medellin City. Where are you?
I'm at home in Santa Elena. The mountain. It's a little bit cold today, but nice. I like cold weather.
I mean, there's nothing better than having a hot cup of chocolate when it's cold in the
Here.
mountains, I guess. But there you go. Amazing. Enjoy, Anita. So
Thank you.
last time we started, like I just want to mention this. I wanted to start like a quick like a session, creative session for problem solving. That was my idea. But when I started talking to Anna, I realized I was far more interested into knowing, into discovering things that just come out with explanations about the prepared things from my side. So that changed my idea of maybe how I will conduct this podcast, especially because I also realize I have many great friends that are amazing and have a lot of knowledge, and I would like to explore it more with them rather than just looking for outside people. So, here is the first question. We were talking about kids, about education, about special education, about new methodologies, new ways to approach schools like Creole. Um, Also how to spark curiosity. That has been so far the most interesting aspect for me because it works pretty well with me. I learn now how to say I love you, like actually. Oh, ah, there
It's
you
okay.
go, there you go, there you go. Yeah, the I, the love, I love you. Perfect,
And you. That's it.
exactly, amazing. So let's start with our first question for you, from your experience, Anna. How do kids learn?
How do kids learn? Wow. Okay. I've seen, like in my experience, because I could bring theory here, but I won't do that. But from my experience, um, I think that knowledge or things have to be have to uh, touch themselves. Like they have to feel something with it. Um, Exploring their emotions, like do something that impacts. I don't know. Yeah, uh, that they will learn it. Then they will learn it. It's something like that. It's what is through their bodies, for example, that is um yeah, it's going through their bodies or touches their emotions, they will learn it. And also I have found that kids learn in many different ways. Like for example, some of them they are more visual or they are more auditive or they need to do things to learn. So for example, what teachers we need to do sometimes is show the information in many different ways or try to do things through our voices, through music, through images, through texts, or through doing things with that knowledge. So in that case, they will learn it, something like that. But I mean, you never know what they're going to learn. It's something very like fantastic for me because there's nothing sure in education because it's people, they're kids, right? It's people or even adults. Um, you never know what they're going to learn. Maybe you wanted them to learn about, I don't know, adding, for example, right? And in that class, they didn't learn how to do something in adding, but they learned how to be patient, for example. And you didn't expect that, but that's what they learned.
Hmm.
Yeah, something like that. Or maybe you said something about your experience, or you tell us a story about yourself, a random story, and that's what they get. So sometimes you offer many things, but you never know what they're going to learn, and that's good, I think. It's a little bit how can I say, challenging maybe, but it's good because it's like, no, you don't have uh, like anything sure, maybe like certain things, maybe
Certain.
like a truth, like we said before.
Well,
So yeah, there's not a way. There are many ways to learn. You have to have many different inputs, and it's good to have like through all the senses. But you always have to think that they can learn many things that you didn't expect them to learn. And so that's it. That I think that would be my answer. And I think that it has to touch their emotions and their bodies and their experience. And it have to be
so
important for them.
would you
They
say
have
that?
to. Uh-huh.
Sorry. Would you say that you can come to class with a plan of what is it that you want them to learn, right? Like, what is it the thing I want to share today? Uh, there is certain aspect of what they will grasp from it that doesn't not necessarily depend on you. It is depending on them, on their capacities, on their interest, on as unique as each one of them are. What is it that thing that touch them the most, right? Like this is something I like about the stories. This is something I like about the stories. You can tell a story. The story is supposed to have sometimes like some meaning, some knowledge embedded into them, but also what each of us grasp from it depends on what are the stage we are at the moment. Not only mentally, but emotionally, physically. So so when you give or you provide some food, so people will eat what comes best for them. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they they eat bullshit and they feel bad later. But in general, like the idea of here's a bunch of food, pick what you like. You hope that everybody eat the hummus or something like that because you made it, but each people will take what work the most for them. This is what I'm getting from what you're saying. Like just putting into
Mhm.
food because it's a good
But
metaphor
yeah,
for it.
that's a good example. Yeah, yeah. They
I,
might want to take a new flavor, and they might not. They might take the one that they know already. Yeah, it's a good
but
example to explain it.
but do you think like what you do in the case sometimes you want everybody to catch up with a certain topic. Let's say they all are learning to add or to extract or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
what do you do when some of them learn it and some other were maybe finding out that there was a great insect around the class, and then they
Yeah,
were
it
use
happens.
it happened exactly. But how you do to ensure that everybody's keeping the pace somehow? Is
Okay.
there like, do you look upon that, or you just chill and you say, okay, they will catch up sooner or later? How
No,
you
I get
manage?
worried as a teacher. And well, I what I do is it had happened many times to me. So what I do is that now I know them a little bit because I've been with them like for a long time, and so I know them a little bit. Like for example, one of them he loves constructions and doing things like that. So what I would do is, hey, let's do this tower, and how many floors does it have? And how the constructors they said that they wanted to put more floors on it. So let's put more floors. How would you write this? Yeah. So now that I know them, that I think it's important, like observation, like it's absolutely important, like teaching, that you have to be seeing them, like um, what do they like? How do they learn? Like what do they feel more like into them? I don't know. That's what I would do. Like as I know them already, I will try to find a way to teach them. And it's because I have few kids, right? So it's like better because if I had, I don't know, 40 students and and each one they have a different way of learning, that's difficult. And I know that public education is more challenging sometimes. But um that's what I would do, like show them in different many different ways. And also, what I found out is that when they help each other, it's meaningful. That's more meaningful for them. So sometimes I ask someone that already like got the point. Yeah, like he's an expert or she's an expert adding, hey, why don't you teach your friend how to do it? And they learn more, even more teaching the other one how to do it. And as they are pares, they are peers, yeah, they're in the same at the same age. So they like kind of like get their attention to be with you, her or his friend, and they catch it. That's a good way to do it. Like helping each other and also trying to find different ways of teaching.
So
I
you are
think that would,
using, you said, you mentioned observation, which is
yeah.
actually you are all the time putting attention to them for real, grasping not only what is obvious about certain preferences they might have, but also, I guess, with through observation, through time, you're able to realize more detailed things about each one of them. So you, the way you approach to each one of them start to be tailor made when certain things happen. I guess this is way more easier, like with fewer kids than if you have like 50 on your class.
Yeah,
Is it true?
I think so. Yeah.
But anyway, at the end of the time, also, when you mentioned that you incentivize that they help each other, right? Like to another kid come and say, "Hey, could you explain your friends? Like, I see you and you understood. I see you like this." So are you using this kind of group thing But sometimes go to the opposite. I know it's like the one is putting attention, and then other just hey, let's look at the ball, whatever. So it can work like both sides. No, like it could be great to help each other. It could be great to distract each other, or at least to move their attention to another place. So you are using that natural forces that the group has to move the attention of others, to help them to learn better. And is there any other like engagement techniques? Like could you share maybe some of the methods that you share one already? There's like, well, actually two. One is putting attention and customize the learning for each one of them. The other is using the group to
Mhm.
help you out. Is there any other engagement techniques that you use sometimes when you find out that not everybody is keeping the pace?
Like attention getters or something like that. Sorry,
I
I
mean,
didn't.
any resource. Like when I say engagement technique, is like, yeah, somebody's not putting attention or somebody's not like really interested into what you're saying. So you said
Okay.
already, I go there and I can tailor made like, hey, imagine this is like
Yeah,
this one thing. The other thing is
I.
I can tell the friend to help
Uh-huh.
the other guy. And is there any other engagement technique you use?
Yeah. Some of them. One is random, like weird questions about what we are doing.
Weird
So, for
question.
example, why do you think that like little kids are very into dinosaurs? For example, we're talking about fossils or history. So it's like they have to think about it, right? Or if you were a dinosaur, what color would you be? Would yeah, or which what would you eat? Whatever. And they're like, and that grabs their attention. Sometimes stories are also good, like personal stories. Sometimes I'll say here a secret. Sometimes I create stories. So hey, I have a friend who has a kid, and he's having a problem with this. What do you think he could do? Maybe. So they come up with ideas, and I'm talking about someone's real life there in the classroom. But as they want to help because they love helping. That's what I found in kids. They love helping. So hi, I have an advice, or I he could do this, and
Hmm.
that's that grab their attention. What makes them like what make them think. Sorry, my English today, like.
I mean,
What else? I think that songs are also good, or playing with the hands. For example, if they are very like at the beginning of the day, what I do is doing hands movements with a song or something like that, like rhythmic games, rhythmic games. And that grabs their attention as well. Because if they are very noisy, for example, that sometimes it happens, if I say, "Hey, silence, please," no, it will take like maybe 20 minutes and nothing's gonna happen. But if I play a song of 2 minutes and they are repeating it and then I'm doing it like in a quiet way, then they'll be quiet. They're gonna be quiet and they're gonna listen what I wanted them to listen. That's it. I think those are some of the techniques I use to get their attention. Um, Yeah, I would say those like weird questions or questions that make them think, um, stories and like short stories and songs or rhythmic games. Yeah, those are some
hmm,
of them.
those seem very appealing. Like, actually, do they love dinosaurs?
Ugh. Even
Like,
my kid, I have a daughter. She's 2 years old and she loves them. And yeah,
wow.
I don't know why.
Well, dinosaurs are just amazing. Because this is a side note. I love them too. I was really into dinosaurs when I was a kid, and just the idea that those giant beings, very diverse, because we never saw one. I mean, but scientists, television shows at the time did a great job, just kind of helping us to imagine how they look, how they were, how they act at the time, and that was always so interesting to me. It's like, wow, those giant beings that were here that we had no idea what happened to them, and they seem pretty cool and big and and interest. Well, so that will work with me too. If you ask me a question about dinosaur, I'm distracted, and then you said something like that, it will work with me. So I'm sure it pretty much will do with the others. Um, thanks for sparking some light for us upon the topic. For any teacher watching us, probably each teacher has their own techniques or everything. But if you are a new
That's
parent, a
true.
new teacher, uh, this might be a good reminder or something that you might want to try it out. Dinosaurs are always amazing. Of course, latest stories, makeup stories are wonderful because hey, you can make them for any situation, and they're funny. And music, well, music is music. Like well played,
Yeah,
music is music, so it catch most of human beings. Well, so coming from that topic of what tools do you use the most, or what are the engagement techniques that you use, you mentioned that you have a kid. Well,
yeah.
her name is Amaru, right?
Amaru. Yeah,
Amaru.
that's her name.
That does her name has any meaning specifically?
Oh, yeah. Her name is in Quechua, an
Quechua.
Inca language. Yeah. Um, its translation would be snake, but
Wow.
what I love is the story about that name. And
But
in
sorry,
Spanish,
any kind of
Amar.
a snake? Any kind of a snake or any specific kind of a snake?
Well, I think it's any snake in that language,
Okay.
but they have the name has a story, and it was kind of a dragon. I imagine it like a dragon because it was a big snake that lays down in the Andes, the mountain. I forgot how to say this mountain range,
Mountain range.
the Andes mountain range. It's just laying there, a giant snake that has wings and a tail, and it has a face of a llama. I
I am
imagine
a
it
dragon.
as a dragon. It's kind of a dragon with that description, right? So they said that once upon a time there was like everything was dried in the earth, and Amaru, that was that big snake, moved her wings, its wings, and with the tail touched the earth, and the river started to flow again, and the rain came when she did this with his wings. And they said that also, so life came back, and also as Amaru has those things in the skin. I don't know,
Okay,
escamas.
like the dragon skin.
Yeah, like a dragon skin. So when it went to the sky as it was raining, the sky was full of rainbows because of the sun and the rain
All
and
the
the skin of them.
shiny. Hmm.
Yeah. So we found that story so like lovely. We loved it. Like even if she was a girl, a boy, we thought like it's a good name for girl or
It
boy.
works.
Both of
It
them,
works.
it works. And also in Spanish, amar means to love, and mar means the sea. and we like the sea, and we love, well, the word love is
So
is
you cannot
amazing.
fail
So
with that name.
we just loved it.
It's
Yeah.
basically it's
Yeah.
pretty solid. But did you make that story?
No.
That's a real one. Okay, no, just wondering, just wondering. It's pretty cool. I mean, y- you could be like, I really want to call my kid this name, and let's make up a story. So when she
No.
asks, it has a meaning. Maybe we just make it up. But no, but wonderful. It has a great story then. Amaru. Now you know everybody.
Ahmad.
If you ever want to find a good story, Amaru seems to be pretty interesting, especially for kids or for
Yeah.
grown-up kids that like dragons with Jama heads. That seems really cool. So talking about Amaru and about the experience of being a teacher and to being a mom as well.
Mhm.
What do you think about homeschooling?
Oh, homeschooling. Well, I think it's a like it depends on the decision of the parents, right? But for example, Amaru is in a kindergarten already, and some of the moms that choose homeschooling would say, "Hey, isn't her isn't she too young to be in a kindergarten because she's just two?" But what we thought about it, it was about interaction. Because if I was like if I was let me think, not working, like if I didn't have a like a schedule to follow or something, um well, it's okay to have her here because I could do some activities with her, but also take her to all the places to share with kids because I think that's very important. I mean, we as a family, like Alberto, that my couple and me, we think that interaction is very important, and we like growing up with others is important. So what I think is that homeschooling is good, if I mean if they choose that, but they have to, not they have to, but they should, or what I think is that they should um make them interact with all the kids, because then if they don't interact with other kids, well, that's going to be a problem, right? Because
You're talking
social,
about the social aspect of it, like how important
exactly.
is the bondage of social aspect. I I interrupt you right there because you just remind me of my dad. What my dad used to say to me. He's like, I was like, if I told him one day, like, I can learn anything that will teach me in a school by myself. Why should I go? Say because the only thing you cannot learn alone is to make friends and interact with others. That one you gotta go out there and make it happen.
Mhm.
Besides the certificate that you ever study, that might be useful in the future. He was right about that one because otherwise, they are, many institutions ask you for that thing, even though it's not that important. But the social aspect is crucial because, well, if you don't start when you are young to interact with others, if for first time you will do it as an adult, well, I don't know how that will
That
go,
would be
but
challenging. Of course, we adapt. We are very adaptable. Human beings have we have that capacity, and that's so cool. But it will be more challenging for them. So,
and of
and
course
things
it's
that
not
this, yeah,
like it's not possible. Sorry, just the comment is like it's not that it's not possible to do so because some homeschooling people might listen to us and say you have no idea what you are talking about. Maybe perhaps because I'm not
yeah. And
having
I know
kids, not
some of
either homeschooling.
the, I know some moms that are doing homeschooling, and they are doing great. They, for example, take them to some libraries and courses with other kids, or swimming classes. I don't know, things like that. Or they share with other. kids at their home, for example, and that's good. I think a good way to have uh, what I don't like about homeschooling, and sorry everyone that is doing homeschooling, is the references as well of about adults. Like if you only have your family teaching you, you're only going to have that reference, and you can take care of of your kids growing up. And I can have differences with Amaru's teacher, but I want her to know many different kind of adults, many different kind of being, kind like different way of thinking, different way of talking or speaking, uh, because I want her to choose out of all those options, right? But it's okay if they choose it. I mean, I won't say it's the worst option, no, because I know that some of them they're doing great, and they're showing kids, for example, what they really want to learn, and they can observe that. I told you that it's very important all the time how they do things, what they like, so their talents can grow about it, like a lot. And that's good. That's a good thing. That's a good point. But it's also about, yeah, references of orals, but I think it's also important. So yeah.
Mm, but I mean, I agree with you. Like, even if we do not share the same perspectives that others
Mhm.
have, it's our responsibility to allow our kids or the people we are around to experience other perspectives. Otherwise, we don't want them
Mhm.
to be a copy of ourselves or only shaped by the view we have on the world, because this is so limited, so like limited. Like it, yeah, it will help a lot if they are exposed to all the things, even if we do not agree with all of them all the time. However,
Mhm.
what I'm imagine after I hear your side on homeschooling is that there are some elements that might facilitate to do a proper homeschooling. One of them is time. Time seems to be
Yeah,
very important aspect of because it's a
you
lot of
need to
time
have
consuming. Time
that.
goes along with resources, which is like ensure they have the time and the resources for it.
Yeah.
Um, Community seems to be another topic that comes to my mind, because if you have a supportive community of many other parents that are kind of living around and doing the same homeschooling at the end, they can help with interactions between each other. You know, like today it's in my home, tomorrow it's in your home, next day it's in this
Mhm.
other people home. Maybe it's better shoot for that time of approach, more like a community homeschooling will be more interest on that sense. And yeah, maybe not all of us we come with that type of community around. We do have, anybody has a kind of community around, but might be amazing to explore. Maybe I will get to interview somebody that does homeschooling, that they have a
Yeah,
proper community, or
absolutely.
maybe some other people that doesn't schooling and they live alone, isolated from the world, and that might also be an interesting perspective to show.
Yeah.
But thank you for answering that, Anna. Even though I know sometimes might be some controversy with some of the people interested on those topics, because homeschooling seems to be like uh, maybe an ideal sometimes, a great ideal for many families. But I guess it helped us with an introduction of the next question, which is, what differences do you notice between kids on regular schools and the ones that are on Creole or any
Mhm.
other like alternative schools? Like, what are the even homeschooling could be an example of alternative. Like, what are the difference you notice between kids?
Well, we've been talking about that a lot before holidays, and between like the teachers, we were talking about it, and it's that they have like a very critical thinking. Is it critical thinking? Like
Critical thinking, yes.
they're, and sometimes it's that they like and they argue. They argue a lot because they know they are going to be listened, and they are free to do some things because we try to give them freedom in many things, like choosing some topics or doing things in the way they want to do, right? So feeling that freedom, and it's there is something that is going to listen to me, I can argue and say, hey, I don't like this. I don't want to do this. Hey, why don't you give me more time for break? If during the break I'm doing this and this and this and this, and they argue with arguments. That's what we say to them. Like, hey, give me your arguments. And we do the other argument. We say the other arguments after they say their arguments.
To
Is it
complement,
arguments?
uh, well, that's a great question. Actually, I do not know, but it seems to work. Like, if somebody ever listened to
Like
us, somebody know.
explain your point, right? So I like that, to be honest. I like that they are not like, okay, I'll do it. I'll be sitting here because the teachers told me that I have to sit here and that's it. No. Why should I sit here? Right? Because in that way, when they grow up, they won't do what the others tell you to do because they're going to think, okay, why should I do this? And it's not a little bit, it's so challenging for us because we have to tell the reasons of many things to them. Like you have to listen to to others because of this and this and that and that.
It
So
will be more
it's very
simple if they were
challenging.
just there, and then you can just say like, because I say
Like
it.
silence, please, and if you don't sit down, I will like tell to your parents, and that's it.
I
Or
mean,
I
but have you been
couldn't
tempted? Have you been tempted ever? You can confess here. Have you ever been tempted to just say,
afford.
because
Sometimes
I
it's like,
say it,
what should I
because I
do
want.
here? Like points. Hey, let's break. Like 5.5 minutes less break, and you have to sit here in the classroom. Of course, I'd be tempted doing that. Of
And
course.
how do you overcome that temptation to do it constantly? That's the easiest path, maybe.
I don't know. Just thinking that um, when you, sorry, I don't know this word, castigo. Do you know it?
Punishment.
Happen to use it. Like, have it ever use it in
You
my
haven't
life?
punished anybody ever?
Yeah, punishment is it. When you use punishment, I know that it doesn't work. It doesn't. They will because they would do it because they feel fear. It doesn't work like that. So since I learned that, I just don't do it because it won't work. They're just feeling fear. That's not the thing that I want. I want them to learn how why should you listen to the others while they're talking, for example, in this case. So yeah, if you know it, then you try to think before doing like don't do it. Like yeah, you just stop your impulse
So
and
would you say
do it in another way.
that the biggest difference between the kids on regular schools to the ones in homeschools is that sorry, not homeschools, like alternative schools in general? will be that the ones, for example, in Creole, as they are growing up, they feel they can express themselves more freely, and they
Yeah.
learn to do so with better arguments, which are not about fight, but which are about to express what they see, how they feel, have a more critical mind that that is able to come out with, hey, you are telling me that the most important is that I learn. Well, I was learning this on my free time, and now that I learned it and I came here to class, you are kind of punishing me because I did what you just said. That is the most important. Like things like that. Like they are able to come up with certain arguments beyond fight just to learn to express themselves and to take choices. Rather than in the common schools, these arguments are very difficult to handle because you have too many kids, and it's more like military control in a way. Like you cannot lose the control of them, otherwise it's gonna go wild and you don't have the time or either the resources. So they gotta behave in certain ways. So there are very few that are eager to go against that. So sometimes kids will do that also in normal schools, but fewer, and it will feel more like a fight rather than an open discussion they can have. But this is what I can summarize from what you were saying.
Yeah, and I found another difference while you were talking, and it's about the body's control. Because in Creole, um, we move a lot and we allow kids moving. For example, I have one of the kids and he's all the time doing this. And I don't say, hey, stop. Even though for me sometimes distracting, right? But like in a normal school, it would be like you have to be sitting and everything like maths, for example, are sitting. You have to write, you have to be sitting. No, they can choose how they want to be. They have to like, hey, give me the like do it. At least do it because it's not like, hey, do whatever you want to do and that's it. No, do the work or because we plan things right and we want them to learn many things and but they can do it moving it and we for example can do a class outside in the forest with the board for example if we need it and we need a visual uh, help or we can go to the sand yeah area or to the park and learn there or do something or for example we are adding we can jump with the rope right so I think that for example when we've gone to other places and do workshops the teachers should sometimes tell us that they don't stop like they cannot be just quiet and yeah, like not moving. They're all the time moving around and talking. So yeah, I think that's one of the difference as well about the movement and they that we allow them to move a lot. But it's because we think that moving is one of the cognitive like cognition and moving they are related.
I
So that's
mean,
why.
there is at least I enjoy it. Like certain movements that are very pleasant to us. Not necessarily means we are movements that are pleasant. They not necessarily mean that we are distracted, but sometimes like just this kind of
Mhm.
movement, like it's very pleasant. Like there's different type of movements. Like when you start shaking your feet because you are anxious, that's another thing, and
Mhm.
then you make the sound. That's different. But sometimes if you're just rocking, it's like a very pleasant movement, for example. Or I guess that the limit is, are you able to do your movement, to be a stand up
While
or sitting, while not only you pay attention or you are able to do the activity or to participate, but you are not distracting the others. You are not, at least you are not moving and pushing your friend to the side because or making a strong noise. So it's just kind of a, you are free between the boundaries of helping the rest to participate, to enjoy, to benefit from this. And that's beautiful. I found that super important because that's how life is. When you're an adult, it's not like you gotta do this or not specifically. Is you are free between the boundaries of you're not affecting the others.
Mhm.
I sometimes this a thought that came to my mind while I was saying this, but it's when we are kids, we are treating when we were kids, we were treated in a way that it seems to be fine when we were kids. But then if you imagine that this kid's gonna grow up and gonna and they need to behave in certain way. Let's say you go to the supermarket. If you throw something from the supermarket, it falls to the floor. It's not like you're gonna have a somebody in the supermarket hitting you with a stick and say you should not do this.
Mhm.
No, either you clean it or you pay it. Most of the cases, no, like you take responsibility of what you did, but you will not have somebody just complain. Oh, no, solve it. You become responsible, whatever it means on the context that you are, and many other kind of situations where like when we are an adult, when we are adults, we don't gonna have somebody just screaming at us or saying certain things. We gotta be responsible on that context. So the ability of how you say incentivize kids to be responsible rather than just punish them or to condition them, just incentivize them to be responsible and letting them know that their actions have consequences, while at the same
Mhm.
time let them choose freely so they also can develop that confidence between the boundaries of the context and the well-being of the rest of the group. I found that to be an art that does a wonderful contribution for a human being if you're able to conduct it properly. It sounds even way more easy than what it is on real life application, I guess.
Yeah.
But thank you for sharing those differences with us. Mm, w- we gotta go to the next question. Uh, it's time to get a bit on the controversy side of the discussion. So, have you used any AI tools for preparing class or use them with the children?
Okay. Whew. Yes, I have. Well, um, yeah, I think that AI can help us with some practical jobs or things that are like if you uh, teachers, we don't work just there with the kids, right? Because we need to do planning, then we need to do the like we have to say things about the kids. So we have to observe, right? And then we have how do I name this? The reports, right? So many, like it's a lot of work, much work. So I think with that, with like planning, sometimes I use it. I will have to be honest with you. But it's like to write something. It's not with the ideas because the ideas, what I found out is that it cannot give me the ideas to do it there because I am, the kids are their idea. So I cannot plan for the whole year with an AI. because during the class they come up with other ideas, or for example they advance a lot with a topic or something, or they know how to write, so why should I do this if they already know it, right? So I think it helps with the um like coming up with some ideas, or if I, for example, I don't know something about a topic, I use it. Right now we are studying the sky, as I told you the last time. So I don't know things about clouds, for example. So I can ask ChatGPT, "Hey, help me with this," and I want to do a class about this. And those are the steps. Give me some ideas, and I can read it. Of course, not all of them are useful, but some of them are. And I think we have to like not fight with technology or AI and say, no, that's the worst thing. That won't make me think as a teacher and I would become lazy. I don't think so. Well, I think we can get a little bit of help out of those tools, and that's good. And also, I've used it. I remember once, um, I I asked them, like the oldest. They are like 9 and 10 years. Uh, think about a question that it's a very difficult question, like a philosophical question, like why. I remember two of their questions right now, and it was, what was it? Sorry. It was about God, something about
Oh,
God. Like
hard questions.
like what's the reason, or what are the proofs that God exists, or something like that. And the other one was about poverty, like why does poverty exist? Another one was about a president or something like that. Um like what's the way of thinking of that person, that famous person? So ChatGPT would answer their questions. I was like, okay, try to make a conversation with it. And yeah, they were very excited because it was like a machine talking to them, right? And trying to solve like existential problem. I don't know if that's a word,
Hmm.
but like a life problem, like philosophical question. And yeah, that's what I did. So yeah, I've used it as well in class, and also once in, I think, creating images. I used it.
Mid journey. Oh,
I
okay. Or Dali.
Yeah,
Yes.
like a picture. So I asked them to tell the AI like an art, um, like an art way.
Okay.
Sorry, don't find the
Dali.
words today.
It's
um,
sometimes it's hard on our own native language. I
yeah,
know. I know in a live stream even harder in a different language. But let's say yeah, they ask it to create an image with certain influence, some artist or some
exactly.
certain
Yeah.
sensation. Okay.
And with that, like with this purpose and blah blah blah. So they did it, and they were enjoying it a lot. So yeah, I've used it. Yeah. I think we don't have to fight, because I know some teachers who fight with AIs. Like, no, this is gonna end our jobs.
It's a
No, we
hard
just
fight.
have. Yeah, it is.
It's a very hard
But I
fight.
don't want to do it. I don't want to fight with it because it's here. I mean, they're going to use it as well.
And-
I think the hard thing is with teachers, because I found out as well, um, secondary school, for example, where children use AIs to do their jobs, right? So how would you do so that they don't? put everything in its hands. I don't know if you get my
Mm,
point.
mm-hmm.
Like, for example, doing an essay about what you think about, um, let's say, marketing. I don't know. So they just say, hey,
I do want to
ChatGPT,
say
you
ChatGPT.
want to say, blah, 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 and then it's done. So
Well,
I don't
well,
know.
I
That
mean,
that's a problem, isn't it?
there is many discussions going about this topic. First one is like for a teacher, it should be a companion, like it should be a teammate. So basically, you have now a team can somebody or something, sorry, something that can help you, some tool that can help you. So you have more resources. Like looking at it rather than something that can do everything for me, all my job. Because at the end of the day, if you're enjoying your job in a way, you are finding purpose of what you are doing. Well, you want to do it. Now you want to do it as best as you can, and using all the resources, and maybe in shorter amount of times you can have time to do it better or to do other things, of course. However, uh, if we think about it as a tool that we can do team with, that can help us do more things, then is enhancing. If you think about that as a way that we can just escape from our work and basically have a thing that does everything for us, we might have a hard time in a way, because first we might not do the best job we could, and secondly, then maybe we gotta think what are we doing? Like, do we want to be there actually? If we just want something to do everything for us, right? We don't want that experience, and what the hell are we doing there? But
And they're becoming lazy. I mean, we as human beings are becoming lazy now with AI. Well, I don't
all
know
the
what's
time,
gonna happen.
at first we were becoming lazy on our bodies, then now we are becoming
Mm,
lazy on our
with our
minds.
minds. Yeah,
It's
let's see.
exactly. However, tools have the two sides always. Not like a knife can be a wonderful tool or can be a killing weapon. Like tools have that nature. Tools are neutral. Humans are the ones that use them in general. So I have like we're gonna see an amazing spark of creativity, of exploring the world with these tools. At the same time, we're gonna see an amazing way of being lazy. However, two things, 2 points. Like one, we gotta be very critical now more than ever with these tools, because the data sets that have been provided for them not always are accurate, and they are very biased. And even with the development of synthetic data, means the AI is generating their own things, their own data to learn. So it's learning from a bad quality data set, and then it's generating more data out of that bad quality data set. So many things might not be as accurate, and accurate not necessarily means that something uh, 2 plus 2 it's 4. Yeah, that's accurate. Accuracy on maths, that one is super important. But how about things that are less obvious, when we ask things that are more subtle and are more regarding to human nature, more regarding about relations, about culture? So it can shape a lot those type of aspects for humans. So we gotta become more critical on how we think, and what we take as an input, on what is truth and what is untruth for us, rather than politically correct, because AI will be, in many general use cases, is not always programmed for being truthful. Sometimes it's programmed to be politically correct. That's also important to know.
Yeah.
I remember I did an experiment with a group of kids from some public school in Envigado. And they were like about between 9 and 12 years old. And we used Midjourney, an image generation tool. with AI, and they were doing random stuff. We were having fun until a kid asked for a prompt of show me an image of God. So show me an image of God, and then Midjourney, of course, using the data set it has, generate this image of this like very strong European man with long hair. Like this is God, and then the best part for me, I wasn't that surprised because I just guessed like, okay, of course, data set, influence of the references, the Western culture. But the kid was like, it doesn't seem like God to me. I was like, I don't believe it. I don't buy it. Like, it's not that good. And I'm
Mhm.
like, I was like, thanks God. Funny enough, I was like, thanks God, like he has some critical thinking mind.
Yeah,
Because
that's good.
otherwise, other people might be like, "Wow, that's how God looks." That might be terrible, in a way. Like we are
Mm.
not saying that that's not God. We are saying that that's not all God should be, because that's only one way to look at it, only one culture, only one kind of um. Yeah, I think you get my point. But I would love to listen on the comments to see the comments if somebody has something else to say about. And moving forward with the I see talking about the future of education and AI. I hear many people discussing like, well, if you don't want kids to use AI to reply or to do all the work in the schools, then you should be able to think about things that might not be possible to do with AI that only humans can do, or that AI is not that good that human can do even better. So, so in that sense, it's like not saying that memory is not important, but everything based on memory, it could be replaced by. Actually was replaced by Google. Like just hey Google, like what is this? What is that? So the important aspects of education shouldn't be based on memory and just remembering data, because any other tool will be better than us at doing so, but should be based on our ability to create, to do, to innovate, um,
Or
and
to
maybe to
talk about
create.
yourself.
Huh?
I mean, your experience and stuff, or what you feel or think about this or that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like can we put or do some homework or other like the important test without only rely on memory, on have you memorized this, because that over time will be completely taken by the tools that we use today. So not saying that it's not necessary or useful, just saying this shouldn't be the main thing on education. I used to be, when we were young, is like, yeah, if you memorize everything, if you are the kid that has the brightest memory, then you are good.
Mhm.
If you not, then you are not. And sometimes the person that can memorize the most isn't necessarily the most capable one in that case. So that's all I'm saying. I'm just putting it out as a thought about, if AI can do it, then we should find a better way to 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 develop projects on the schools. They can use AI, yeah, but it shouldn't be able to be completely done by AI. Otherwise, what the
Mhm.
hell are we doing at the schools? But that's just summarizing some thoughts of other people as well on the topic. What do you think about that statement?
Well, I think I agree with you. Yeah. I think we should think about um how to how to like give them tasks or things that where they can create or think or feel about a topic or something. And in that way, they would use it maybe, but they would have to think further, right? So yeah, well, AI is here. Like it's we cannot fight with it. I think we will lose. But we would have to think about how to use it at schools and how to use it, or think about, for example, ethics, and talk about it at schools. I think it's important, and put
Do
the
you have these
question
discussions? Sorry,
on the
do you have
road.
do you have those type of discussions now happening on the school or maybe with other teachers?
Yeah, with the it mainly with the like the oldest, like 9, 8, 9, even yeah, even the 7 years old group. We've been talking about it. Like how would you use it? How does it work? Um, Many things about it. It's more
But I think
philosophical,
about
that
teachers.
technical. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I meant with kids, of course, but I meant between teacher among teachers yourselves
Among teachers?
have been
No, we haven't talked about that
discussing
at all.
about.
No, to be honest, it's just like, hey, use it as a tool,
Would you like?
but not about like showing it to kids. We haven't talked about that a
Would you
lot.
like maybe to? It doesn't need to be sooner, like this week or maybe next week. But would you like to maybe think about like coming with two or three colleagues or teachers and maybe having a session like about this type of topic? Do you think that might be helpful?
Yeah, why not? Sharing information or thoughts, it's always good for me. I like that.
Okay, so talking about the topic, I brought some things for you.
Mm,
One like
I'm
one of
curious.
one of those things like let's see if I can share the screen right now. Let me see. Let me see if I can. Oh, right. This is interesting. Share screen. Here you go. Well, disclaimer. This video hasn't been sponsored by Brilliant, neither ChatGPT, any other tool. It's important. But I just want to bring to you a tool that I find amazing. It's called Brilliant. Brilliant it's an app. It's a project built by many uh, professionals in all the areas, like from great developers from Google, any other big tech company, to physicians, doctors, artists, any kind of people have come together to develop uh, this tool that's called Brilliant. And Brilliant has a special stream for teachers. It's free for K-12 teachers. We mean teachers that are going until 12th grade, right? Which means before university, and, and yeah. So this actually, I will share the link with you. You can just go click on Brilliant .org and apply for access with your teacher email. Just describing who do you work with, which ages are your kids, and just providing some of the information, and you will be able
Nice.
to access this type of tool. Let's see if I can play out something for you to so you can check it out. Let's see.
Join Brilliant for Educators to unlock premium STEM
Sorry, let me know. Can you hear the audio or not?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
content for your students.
Is it speaking or just music?
Oh, right now it's just music. Can you hear the music?
Okay, yeah.
With a Brilliant for Educators account, your students will gain access to over 60 high quality STEM courses, from math fundamentals to computational biology, currently free for all educators. Apply today at brilliant.org/educators. Join Brilliant.
Okay, that was a very brief. Were you able to hear the voice, the
Yes,
narrator?
I
Okay,
heard
okay,
it.
okay. Okay, perfect.
But
I just want
hey,
to
it seems nice. So I want to explore it now.
like I thought about many like Khan Academy, ChatGPT, many Midjourney, many other tools. However, there is one special quality about Brilliant that it made me choose this one to share with you specifically, and is
Mhm.
that it use AI, it use the most brightest minds that we have in every topic, and their main goal is not to do traditional like when you talk to ChatGPT, like whatever it does, it will need to reply you on text or maybe with voice, right? But the interaction will not be that playful. It will not be like a game, neither a video, right?
And games
Brilliant,
are so important.
Brilliant is based on game interface completely. Every exercise, every topic. Of course, you can choose certain way of learning, as you saw, memorizing, visualizing, interacting. But the main UX is designed to be play. So you are playing with every topic and you are going from the zero level, newbie level, to a professional level, like top
Wow.
PhD university on any topic you can think of. Um, you can use it. You can use it also with your children, and you can use it to imagine games that you can design for every topic eventually on your class. So you can go see how games are designed for this or that explanation and use them as
Nice.
well and recreate them on your school. So that's pretty cool. And as I say, it goes
Yes.
from newbie level to PhD level if you want it.
Well, um, wow, a great tool. And that made me think about we have in my school, we have three bases for every class, and it's games, or playing, arts, and environmental thinking. So, well, this is amazing because they love technology, like interacting with all those devices, and also, well, games. That's the most important thing for them, like games.
I
So
mean,
yeah, nice.
games are unbelievable.
Very
I
nice.
I, I had few more around, but I for the sake of respecting the time, I think I will let this here and I will share them directly with you after this session. But I want to show Brilliant. I had planned a better demo on my phone. I didn't find a way to connect it right now on this computer for the live
Mhm.
stream, but I'm glad we were able to find a small video and demo and introduce you to this brilliant tool. So, with that said, that's it for today. We have some really interesting topics moving around. We could spend here maybe way more time because each one of these topics are so interesting and there's much to be said about it. But I wanted to thank you from deep of my heart, Anna, for being here, to being my first guest on these sessions. All I can imagine is like it took some courage knowing you, the fact of going to a live stream in a different language. I don't know if that's the thing that you always will choose by nature. But I really appreciate that you did it and you came here early in the morning. That's a lot to say, and that also you were very open with all these topics to share with us your stories and your knowledge. So I really thank you for that, and for everybody might be listening. um, I, I I don't know if you want to let maybe any social platform for people to contact you if they ever feel, but you might be able to figure that out later on the description if that's something you are open to. And for that said, thanks to everybody watching, and we see each other on the next podcast session with the live hackers. And I would love to read on the comments anything that can help us improve. And from here, every session we'll try to iterate and to make it even better. So thank you very much and have a
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Thank you,
Thank
Anna.
you, Nico. For Nico. See you next time.
See you next time.